What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports, back again with another one. Former WBC heavyweight champion Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder, has been laying low since the 7th round TKO loss to Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury. He's been keeping a low profile, has done a few interviews, but now the word is spreading since yesterday that Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua is close to being finished, close to being finalized, 85% done according to reports, as they have settled in on a location in Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. They have an indoor stadium there which seats 20,000 spectators that are expected to be attendance for that undisputed heavyweight clash. Now Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua seems to be heading down a path of a two-fight deal. The first fight's going to take place in the summer of 2021. They're looking at 3 dates: July 24th, July 31st, and August the 7th. Now, where does this leave Deontay Wilder? That's the question that needs to be asked. What will be his next move? From what I've been hearing, they're looking at 3 possible opponents for his next fight. They can go 3 different avenues for Deontay Wilder's next fight. And it just depends on which way they want to go. Now, the guy I'm hearing that's the front runner is Prince Charles Martin, who won the IBF Eliminator on the undercard of Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 2. He fought on the undercard. He's a southpaw. He's a guy that has a lot of talent, but you kind of wonder about his hunger, what about his tenacity, worry about his doggedness in the ring. He's got the talent, but he kind of, waved the white flag when he got his opportunity on the big stage with Anthony Joshua. He won the title on a technicality that his opponent got injured, and he was basically gifted a belt, the IBF version of that belt. And then he went to the UK and he put up a bad performance. Like the moment got to him, the occasion got to him. Looked like Anthony Joshua was a guy with all the experience. That was like his 15th fight or something like that. He didn't even have 20 fights up to that point. And Charles Martin had way more professional fights. I think the amateur background might have been the difference. I think AJ probably had a little bit more extensive amateur pedigree than Prince Charles Martin. But nevertheless, man, you the world champion. A lot of people saying you got the title on a technicality, on some BS, basically. You would think your first defense, you would want to put up a better performance of that. But he laid it down on that fight, man. Didn't put up no kind of fight. He felt Anthony Joshua power, and he looked for the first exit, though, to get out of that fight. And that was a damn shame. But since then, he's rehabilitated his image. He's fought some credible opponents. Now, he lost to Adam Kanaki, but that was a very fan-friendly, exciting fight. He put up a good performance. There was a lot of trash talking leading up to that fight, but he put on a good performance. But even since that performance, I've seen some improvement. He did a good fight with Gerald Washington. I don't know why I said Gerald Thompson. Gerald Washington. He was able to win that on another card. He was able to beat him soundly. So he's a good possible opponent. This fight probably could have been made actually 4 years ago when Prince Charles Martin first won the IBF version of that belt. Deontay Wilder was already the WBC heavyweight champion. They probably could have did a unification between those 2 fighters, but I believe the money was much more larger for a matchup with Anthony Joshua, and him and his team took that and ran with it and went to the UK and pretty much put on a stinker and lost the title to Anthony Joshua, who that was his first major belt in the heavyweight division. Now, a second opponent they're looking at could be Otto Wallin. Now, Otto Wallin is a guy that doesn't have a lot of power, but a guy that's a very good boxer, probably upper echelon in the heavyweight division as far as just boxing skills. I'll probably put him right behind Tyson Fury and Luis Ortiz when we just talking about pure boxing. The guy can really box. The guy can really, really box. Real good box. Don't have a lot of power, but seems like he have a good chin. And he's a guy that probably will give Wilder a lot of problems as far as boxing, technical side of the boxing in the fight. But I think Wilder will ultimately probably catch him with the right hand because he does get hit a lot. He got hit in the last fight he fought with Dominique Breazeale. He won that fight, but he took some shots, especially late in that fight with Dominique Breazeale. But Dominique Breazeale was too worn down and didn't have the steam on his punches that he had early in that fight. That could be a possibility. And then the least likely possibility, but a guy that, might be a get-right fighter, quote-unquote tune-up, a guy that you can look spectacular against is Carlos Negron. His most significant fight was against Dominique Breazeale, a fight that he was doing well in early on, but the size of Dominique Breazeale got to him. Dominique Breazeale was able to kind of wear him down with his physicality, his size. He was able to lean on him, and he was able to land that signature right hand and ultimately stop Carlos Negron. Now, out of those 3 fights, he'll probably be the easiest fight, and that's the fight if you're looking for come back in a spectacular fashion and you don't want to fight a upper echelon opponent coming back from a long time out of the ring, long tenure of inactivity. Maybe you take a Carlos Negron fight. I think Charles Martin is basically the toughest of the 3 as far as skill-wise and power-wise. I think he brings a little bit more to the table. Now, just for skill-wise, Otto Wallin will probably be the toughest fight, the most tricky fight, because he can actually box. He's very solid, fundamentally sound. He's a guy that is a very good combination puncher, so that would be a tough fight. So those are the 3 opponents that Deontay Wilder will be looking to get back into the ring against. Now, Deontay Wilder has, again, been out of the ring for a while, over a year now. Now, his style of fighting, I think, won't be hampered like a guy that's more of a technical boxer, a guy that's more of a rhythm fighter, like a Tony Harrison, who seemed to struggle with rust in his last fight took place last Saturday against Parala, and even Demetrius Andrade, whose guy was able to get the win over #1 WBO mandatory contender Liam Williams, but showed a lot of rust, got hit with a lot of shots that you had never seen him get hit throughout his career. Looked a little rusty, but those guys are rhythm fighters. Those guys are very technically sound boxers. Deontay Wilder is more of a one-punch knockout artist, a guy that I feel can box, but you look at his last several fights, he's a guy that's looking to sleep his opponent with one shot. So a guy like that, the rust might not hurt him as much as it will hurt, Tony Harrison or Demetrius Andrade. So it remains to be seen which one of these 3 opponents he will choose. But those are the 3 likely opponents for Deontay Wilder's next fight. And if I'm here, I'll be on the phone with the WBC president, Jose Suleiman, and saying my next fight I want to be at least for an interim title, or at the very worst, or eliminator. I want to be fighting for a WBC interim title or a WBC eliminator, where I can get right back in the running for the winner of Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua, who seems to be on course for a fight to take place again in the summer of 2021, late August, early August, late July is the dates that they're looking at. I'll be trying to set myself up for that matchup. Now, they're saying it's going to be a 2-fight deal, so that'll probably take Wilder out of the equation for a title shot in 2021, but early part of 2022, the first quarter of 2022, I'll be looking to fight the winner of that. So I'll be pressing the action and putting the pressure on the WBC to make my next fight some kind of interim title fight, or at least a WBC eliminator title fight at the very, very least. So let me know your thoughts about Deontay Wilder's next move. Who will he fight next? Will it be the front runner, in my opinion, Prince Charles Martin, or will it be Otto Wallin, fresh off a victory over Dominic Breazeale? So they both have common opponent that they both fought and both defeated. Or will it be a lesser threat and a guy that you can maybe look spectacular against and get a highlight reel knockout in a Carlos Negron? It'll be one of those 3 opponents. And another thing they have to look at is, will this fight be on free TV Fox, or will it be on Fox pay-per-view? That's going to be the question that's going to need to be answered in the next couple of weeks, when I think his opponent will get announced. In the next 2 weeks, I think we will have an opponent for Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Now, if he fights Charles Martin, based on the money that Deontay Wilder has made in his last several fights, if he expects to make similar money or close to that money, the fight with Prince Charles Martin would probably have to go to pay-per-view. The same with Otto Wallin. That fight would have to go to pay-per-view. Now, he might be able to fight a Carlos Negron on free TV on Fox, because Carlos Negron purse won't be as large. He won't be able to demand the purse of a Charles Martin or even of Otto Wallin, who's been in the ring again with Fury and again Dominic Breazeale. So he won't be able to command that purse. So they basically get Wilder the money that he wants, and then pay Carlos Negron maybe $500,000 or something like that, $350,000, something like that, and they would be able to afford it to put that fight on free TV on Fox. It remains to be seen what takes place, but those are the scenarios that I put out forward on this video. We'll see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Let me know your thoughts about Deontay Wilder's next opponent. Who would you like to see him fight? Let me know in the comment section. Hit the like button if you like the content of this video, and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I'll holla.